All right, why don't we jump in? So, good morning again. Thanks for signing on to this webinar. Thanks for joining me. Many of you know me. I've, been around for a while, but for those of you who don't, my name's Erin Kalkis, and I head up insurance sales for CBIA. As I was just saying, I love the efficiency of webinars, but I do miss those in-person meetings we used to have. It was always so great to be able to look out and see all your happy, smiling faces. So I'm just gonna say that for the agenda today, I know that we have a full hour booked, but I expect that we'll be finishing early and you'll be getting some time back. Here's the agenda. We're going to start with a few introductions, but if you notice after we go through the product topics, we'll be kind of tossing it over to our own Chris Davis, who heads up our public policy area. Chris is going to give us a legislative update regarding the issues that surround our industry. So stick around after the Q&A to hear what he has to say, as it's always an interesting topic for all of us. Speaking of the Q&A, just a little bit of housekeeping. Please submit any questions that you have for the Q&A in the Q&A. How many times can I say Q&A section on your screen? My dear friend, Lynn Sorrentino, will once again be helping me during that segment. She'll be feeding me your questions from the Q&A section, not the chat function, right? So anything that you want to ask, please throw into the Q&A. And another thing to note, yes, this presentation is being recorded. That's always the first question we get. So yes, the presentation is being recorded and it will be sent out to all of you who registered in the coming days. Okay. So before we begin, I do want to introduce our sales team, as we've had some changes over the last few months, most notably the retirement of Ken Comeau this past June after 30 years of service to CBIA. Matt Howe has replaced Ken back in July. You may not be familiar with Matt quite yet, but Matt's been familiar with CBIA as he's been working with us for the past 6 years, heading up our marketing area. Matt also comes with over 10 years of insurance experience as well, so he understands the lingo and the challenges facing the industry today. Tiffany Lamo is our new account executive. Some of you have already met her since she started working with us, but I think you'll all agree that she is the perfect extension of our sales team, as Tiffany spent years on the broker side of the business as an account manager. She understands the market and the needs of all of you trying to navigate that market for your clients. Her email is underneath her picture. I would love you all to shoot her an email and join me in welcoming her to the team. I know she would love to get to know all of you. And of course, I couldn't leave out Chris Gervois and Asia Wells. Chris has been at CBIA for 26 years, and Asia is going to hit her 10th anniversary coming up shortly. Both are staples of the Health Connections team, and they are critical in getting your RFPs processed quickly and your client service issues resolved. Matt wanted to say a few words this morning, so Matt, I'll pass it over to you.
Awesome. Thanks, Aaron. Appreciate that. And I'll just take a quick minute and kind of continue that theme of appreciation. So truly appreciate all of you for being here today. Appreciate your role in the group benefit market, regardless of what that role is, right? Whether you're a producer, account management, support, or other. I know you're not in this industry for all the fame and glory that comes with being in insurance. Typically, you're insurance because at the end of the day, you're here to help people. And honestly, that's what we're about as well. In my career, I've worked for a lot of large organizations that their primary driver was stock price and shareholder value. And obviously at CBIA, that is the furthest thing from our mind. Our mission and the reason that we're here is all about helping Connecticut business and helping Connecticut residents. It's why we launched Health Connections over 20 years ago, and it's why we launched this new product a little less than a year ago. So, what you're going to hear today is really how this product differentiates itself from the market. And obviously, that market has constricted over the last few years. But level funded continues to gain popularity. That's why we chose that particular option. And that's why we tried to make this product differentiate itself as best we could. And obviously, you're going to hear more about that today through Aaron and through follow-ups with Tiffany and the like. I'm certainly not in a position to ask anything of you, but if I could, I definitely would encourage you to lean on us and ask questions, whether that's today or in the future. Honestly, we want to be an extension, and I know it's cliche of being a partner, but honestly, your success is our success. We can't do this without you. And one of the advantages, certainly, of CBIA is the fact that obviously we are Connecticut based. We are able to act much quicker than some of our competition out there. So we look forward to continuing our work with you. And thank you for all that you've done for us in the past and what our partnership means to us in the future. So thanks again. Aaron, give it back to you. Thank you.
Great. Thanks, Matt. Honestly, I couldn't be more proud or happier to be surrounded by these amazing folks every day. So I'll leave my remarks at that, or I'll get all emotional. So moving ahead, let's talk about the current market. I mean, I think we can all agree that the Connecticut insurance market has been in disarray, in turmoil, if you will, over the past few years. We've seen premiums increase, benefits shrink. We've seen carriers leave the market. I'm not telling you anything you don't already know. Matt alluded to it. Groups have fewer options and are turning to level funded plans for a creative solution more than ever. It's the perfect blend of the fully insured and self-funding plans. CBIA Health Connections offers a different kind of level funded plan. It's one that offers cost containment features that really matter. A pharmacy benefits manager that helps save employees actual cash from their wallet and reduces high cost insurance RX claims to their claim fund. It's also a product that gives back. CBIA Health Connections and our level funded program is giving back 100% of all surplus funds at the end of the year and all prescription rebates. We're doing this differently. We're doing this instead of taking a portion of the employer's surplus and keeping all the RX rebates for ourselves. You know Health Connections as the market disruptor that brought you the CBI Aetna plan back in the 80s and the power of choice in the late 90s, which, if you remember, was the first private exchange before that was even really a thing. We had HC2 and HC3 in the 2000s and fixed funding solutions in a post-COVID world. We've been there and we've done that. A few years back, we had to make the decision to really cut the cord between Health Connections and the carriers to create our own product. We could no longer be beholden to their decisions, as those decisions impacted our products and the products that bring value to our member companies. This product is different. We offer our product to CBIA member companies with 10 or more enrolled employees, and there is no cap on that. And we target groups with moderate claim activity and at least one Connecticut location. But important to note, they no longer have to be Connecticut headquartered. They just have to have a warehouse or an office or some location in Connecticut. I do want to talk about the kind of under 10 segment, as I know many of you have worked with us for years in providing our benefits to those micro groups. I know you're disappointed. Frankly, our stop loss carrier had a hard time even bringing this product below 20. We were able to convince them to get down to 10 plus. And frankly, I'm not sure I really believe that those micro groups really belong in a level funded program. I mean, that's up to you and your clients, but feels very risky. But our policy team continues to work hard at the state capitol to push sort of micro group friendly and business friendly legislative updates and bills at the Capitol to help this industry. So I really encourage you to stick around to listen to Chris Davis to find out what's going to be coming at us that next legislative session. So our benefits portfolio, right? So we have 6 plan options, 3 HSA, 3 copay plans. Our network is the Cigna National PPO Network. Again, the return of the surplus and the rebates. Obviously, stop loss protection in order to help with those real high cost claims. 4-tier preferred formulary, and of course, commissions, $40 PEPM commissions. But I will say, as I've said in the past, if you want to include a higher commission percentage, you're welcome to do so. We just need to note it on the proposal so that can get baked into the rates. Earlier, I mentioned cost containment features built into the plans, and so I want to talk about 1 or 2 right here. We have a option within our benefits for zero cost advanced imaging. Like, that's kind of crazy, but essentially it's a speed bump, if you will, when a member gets sort of the prescription or the information that they need, a CAT scan or PET scan or MRI. One call to their concierge member service team gives them access to a preferred independent network of independent facilities, again, not associated with a hospital. Think of sort of the Jefferson radiologies and advanced radiologies of the centers of Connecticut. That call will allow our members to be connected into that network. And the operator on the other end of the call will actually call the facility, schedule the appointment, and arrange for payment so that all the member has to do is show up on their scheduled day. They don't have to pay anything. It is literally a zero cost benefit to them. And all it takes is one phone call to make that happen. That has proven, I just started seeing the data flow in, has already proven a 60% savings in hits to claim fund just by using that preferred network. Also, we have kind of a real access issue in Connecticut to PCPs and behavioral health providers. Embarked in our plan is a virtual benefit. The vendor is called Recuro, but basically these are not just your normal telemedicine, urgent care. My kid has an ear infection and they're screaming at 2 o'clock in the morning. That, of course, is still available. But what I'm talking about is having real access via a virtual appointment with a primary care provider who can order labs, who send home tools to help monitor heart rates and blood pressures, who can prescribe, and who can work through, just like you and I may have with a brick and mortar in-person PCP visit. This PCP is theirs. They will build that relationship, and it's more convenient and way less costly. Again, choosing those benefits will be a zero cost to the member. Those are some of the cost containment features that are in our program that are a little different than in others. So how we compare? I mean, had to get some coffee. Basically, it's pretty obvious. Besides the 100% surplus and the RX rebates, we offer compliance support with 1095s, although I'm not quite sure why we're still doing those, why that's even a thing. But we do offer the compliance support for that. We still have free COBRA administration. We also offer all of the ancillary benefits that help you round out an employee benefits package. It's all on one bill with billing and eligibility support done by the best admin team around. You know them, and I know you love working with them. That's a little shout out to Gina and Georgianne. But actually, I don't think there's any traditional level funded or fully insured plan out there that offers everything we do. There almost isn't a fair comparison here. We literally check all the boxes. Whoops, what's happening here? Okay. I wanted to show you this sort of illustration of a built-in savings potential when it comes to surplus and refund. I mean, this ends up being real money for your clients and further illustrates the value of our program. You'll see three different variations of, basically a 70% loss ratio, an 85% loss ratio, and high claims, over 100%. But the net cost and the savings with the surplus really illustrates the value of this program. Moving on, I want to talk to you a little bit about our stop loss. Our stop loss carrier is amazing. Skyward Specialty Insurance, they're rated A, excellent by AM Best. A lot of people ask me about our underwriting, and they do our underwriting for us. They use a proprietary tool that, kind of like everyone else, but their proprietary tool takes into account not only sort of the current or forward-looking experience, but it also looks back at the claims experience from the past, matches it up with the renewals and plan designs that the groups are currently in, and it comes back out with a really nice proposal. There are no IMQs that are required unless somebody presents a case installation. But other than that, these rates are not sunny day rates. They are firm, they are baked in, and you can go to your client with them. Just as a refresher, it's a 25,000 individual stop loss and 120% aggregate. And because of your feedback over the past year, when we rolled out this program, the contract was a 12-15. Many people were a little concerned about that. So in July, we were able to switch that to a 12-18. So, we react to you. When you tell us something, we listen. We really want to be able to make sure that we're providing the best value and the best options for your clients who are our CBIA members. And one thing to mention about that, I would say the same thing about our plan designs. So when you take a look at our plan designs, if you see that we're missing the boat on something, we need to add a plan, delete a plan, or change a plan, we're happy to take that feedback and see what we can do to make that happen so that you have the right options for your clients. So the pharmacy, our pharmacy benefits manager is Ventegra, and they are probably one of my most favorite things to talk about when it comes to this product. They are incredible because they are not for profit. They are completely transparent, independent, literally walled off. They created a foundation and a trust so that they were not going to be influenced by carriers, by mail order providers, by anyone else in the industry. They believe that their value is putting quality over cost. And they do that every single day. The data is just starting to come in, but it indicates significant savings to employees through manufacturing coupons. So what that means is, as people are calling to get prior authorization for a specialty or a high-cost brand name drug, the Ventegra team is asking about their ability to afford the high-cost medications that they're on. And oftentimes they are seeking, on behalf of the member, coupon discounts that not only lower or completely eliminate the out-of-pocket costs to the member, but also lower the kind of claim hit that hits that claim fund. With the rebates, they take a little bit, takes about 6 months to start seeing the rebates start to come through. So we're just starting to get a little indication of what they look like. And we'll keep you posted, but the early indication shows that we've already been able to offer tens of thousands of dollars back to our employer companies by use of returning these RX refunds. Again, nobody is keeping them. This is everybody that we work with in this program, all of the vendors, all of the people. We're in it to make sure that our employers are getting the best that they can get. And at the end of the year, have some nice surplus and some really flat renewals. Um, in the event that there is a stop loss claim, those rebates are used to kind of help pay down that claim. But in either case, the rebates are there to help the employer and to benefit their claim fund. Just wanted to touch a little bit on some of the reporting that you'll be getting at time of renewal. You know, anytime throughout the year, you're able to go out onto our website and pull off the monthly claim fund report so you can see at any point in time exactly where your clients stand. But at renewal, you'll get a whole package of this kind of data that's showing on the screen, talking about demographic medical summaries, top medical procedures, diagnosis, places of surgery, top RX spend. There's just a wealth of information that gets given to you at the time of renewal so you can really evaluate the health of your client. I would be remiss if I did not mention again our complete benefit package. Again, we offer dental, vision, supplemental health, life and disability, and identity theft for all of our groups, regardless of case size. It's a full benefits package. It's all on one bill. It's a one-stop shop. It's easy to administer because of that. And it adds, if you notice, no changes in rates for most of these benefits. The only change in rates will be sort of demographically driven for the Hartford. If you recall, last year we actually did a rate pass on the Hartford benefits. So this year we have a slight change, but no other change in any other rates heading into 2026. That further adds stability, right? Employers don't have to be shocked not only by their increases from their medical provider, but sort of the crazy ebbs and flows that can happen inside ancillary benefits as well. So I want to talk about sort of the elephant in the room, right? Every time I talk about this product, the question that gets asked is, do they have to pay dues? And I would love to address that because I think what you may not know is how many of your clients actually already are or have recently been CBIA members. We have thousands of Connecticut businesses of all shapes and sizes participating in our membership. If you have a question, we will help to identify which one of the groups that you have requested a proposal for are already members or who have recently been members. We're going to help you have that conversation. I think sometimes you may have a perceived barrier that groups don't necessarily want to pay the dues in order to get access to these benefits. I will tell you that when I have conversations with our member companies, they are ecstatic to learn that we have benefits that can help them and their employees. We will never lose an insurance sale because of a dues issue. So please reach out to us. Let us have that conversation. Let us reach out to our membership team to see how we can negotiate those rates. Ultimately, we want to continue to offer and to have have us be an extension of you working with our mutual clients. You have to remember that they are our membership. They are literally a part of our organization. These groups, these clients of yours they're not just another sort of insurance group for every other carrier. For us, they are truly important, and we want to do everything that we can to help our member companies. This next slide speaks to the ROI, right? I mean, with a small investment in CBIA, you're seeing a return on that investment if your clients use other parts of the CBIA benefits, not just health insurance, but tapping into, say, calling our HR team with HR questions. We have 65 events scheduled over the next year, and they get access to those events either at a discount or for free. It's over $1,600 per employee to represent businesses up at the state legislature. So what you're seeing here is that that small investment really turns into benefits that are real and sustainable and bring true value to your clients. All right, so let's get into the nuts here. How do we get a proposal? Basically, you're going to send to hcsales@cbia.com all of the same information that you're typically sending to other carriers, right? So the group information, a census, full census of members and dependents, dates of birth, zip codes, et cetera, their current benefit information, plan summaries. If they have a renewal, I know many groups right now are finding themselves not being renewed. And so we'll absolutely take a look at experience or their most recent invoice if they're fully insured to try to get a sense of what they're paying today. I would say typically we require 9 months of claim experience if they're coming from a level or self-funded plan. But for this crazy time of year, we got an exception from underwriting to take in only 8 months of claims. So if you have a renewal and you have 8 months of claims, or if you don't have a renewal and you're coming from fully insured, we can work with you. Send us your information on your clients, and we'll get those proposals turned around to you pretty quickly. When it's not this time of year, we get them turned around within 3 to 4 business days. I would say going forward over the next couple of weeks as we head into, getting dropped on with all these proposals, which we love to have, it does take a little bit longer, maybe, 7 to 10 business days, but we'll do our best to turn those around as quickly as possible for you. As I've always said, right? Use your best known census. What is your best known census? If you've been working with your client for years, you know who typically takes the benefits and who typically doesn't, right? So use that knowledge. Waivers will not be underwritten, which means that if someone who had waived and appeared as a waiver on your census does present at the time that the group gets installed, we will require an IMQ. Even if it's for a 2-year-old baby that, wasn't included on the census, we're going to need an IMQ for that person. We do have the option to change the rate or to, even totally DTQ the offer. I haven't seen that in either situation when we've had IMQs show up at the end of the month, that last minute scramble where, holy cow, we forgot to add Joe and now we've got to fill out an IMQ, and are the rates going to hold? While we reserve the right to, our underwriting team at Skyward has been extremely flexible with us, and we haven't had to do anything to impact the rates or the case being sold with an IMQ. We reserve the right because, there's always a walking hemophiliac somewhere that could come in, and so we want to make sure that we can protect. The other thing I wanted to mention is over the past year, we've become way more efficient in our new business processing in terms of all of the forms and agreements that need to be completed. So as soon as you know that a case is going to sell, your first thing would be to complete the participation agreement, send it in to us. That allows us to set up the group and get all of the other network service agreements and BAAs and New York pooling forms. All of that gets sent to your client, to the benefits administrator, via a DocuSign document. Basically, it's kind of click and sign all the way through. Certainly, they can share that with you so that you can review it if you'd like, but it literally takes them 3 to 5 minutes to complete all the paperwork. If that is done even in advance of the enrollment being done, we're in way better shape. I would always say that earlier the better, because certainly this time of year, we get into a crunch towards the end of each month. I just want to be honest to say that the earlier the better. If you can submit your paperwork, we can get the case set up. There's very little, concern of the owner's wife having a whatever appointment on the second of the month and not being able to be covered. So earlier the better is the rule of thumb, not just the thumb. Moving on. So of course we have a, full board of agent resources out on our website, all of our plan summaries and SVCs and forms and collateral. And what I wanted to show you down at the bottom of this screen here is some member level, so employee and dependent level collateral that we've developed to help sort of remind employees the kinds of things that are part of the plan that they have. You know, and I know we go to open enrollment meetings and everyone just sort of glazes over and you ask, do you understand? Do you have any questions? And they don't. And the minute they leave the room, they probably forget 90% of what was said, right? Well, pardon me, what we're trying to do, because our plan is so unique and has so many options for that cost containment that I've been telling you about, is we will be or have been emailing to our member companies who are enrolled in this medical program. Each quarter, they'll get some of these member collateral materials that highlight a piece of our benefits that they can share with their employees. Oftentimes, as I said, people forget and then they're told they need to get an MRI. If they may have gotten, one of these collateral pieces, marketing pieces a few months ago, maybe they'll remember that if they just make one phone call, they can get that benefit. If they don't remember, maybe somebody they work with will say, hey, did you make that call? You have to get an MRI, right? I've heard you saying, don't forget, our HR person sent us this material last month. So we're trying to do a lot of member education as well as agent and employer education. So my final words here. We work for our members. They're part of us. And we care about their experience. We will give back surplus rebates. We have a transparent and independent PBM saving them real money. We have concierge level member services to help them navigate their benefit plan. We have access to $0 advanced imaging. We're doing member level education. We have a full suite of ancillary benefits with one bill and one number to call to reach our legendary service team. We check all the boxes when we compete. And when we do, there's no comparison. Thank you very much for your time. Let's jump into some Q&A. Lynn, what do you have for me?
All right. So one of the questions came in, Erin, if you can talk about the 10 life minimum, is that 10 employees eligible or enrolled?
Great question. Sorry, I wasn't clear. It is 10 enrolled employees on the census in order to be quoted and maintained. Yeah, so 10 enrolled.
Okay. And then is underwriting done via access to an RX program using the employee's SSN, so that in most cases an IMQ is not needed? Or maybe you can maybe touch again on what
Sure.
you covered under underwriting.
Sure. So no, we don't want social security numbers. Please don't send us them. We won't use them. Basically, it's member level data using, if you think about what some of the other players in the market use, the GRXs, the Milliman tools, it's that kind of proprietary tool that our underwriting team is using. That's just one piece of the story, though. It's really also combined with if it's a level funded or self-funded plan, any of those, the claim experience that we're getting in, the renewal increase, the plan designs that people are in. It's a little bit of art, a little bit of science, but it's not, we don't need socials at all.
Okay. Can employees use CVS and Walgreens for their pharmacy needs?
Oh, excellent. Yes, they basically, any national pharmacy is part of the Ventegra network. So I don't even know if there's Rite Aids in the world anymore, but you think about your CVS, your Walgreens, but also there are still quite a few smaller independent pharmacies, and even they are a part of the Ventegra network. So you don't have to choose a national carrier or a national pharmacy vendor. If you do, you don't have to make a choice. You can go to anyone you want.
Okay. Is there any possibility of negotiating after a proposal is released?
Excellent question. Always. There is always an opportunity to negotiate the rates and our membership. So if you find that we're coming in and we're pretty close to a competitor, let us know. Send it to us. Our underwriting team is very flexible. They will take a look, and if there is room, we'll get it from them. Absolutely. Let us know.
Okay. The current Connecticut level funded program only shares aggregate claim data by month. Will that be sufficient since that is all that is available?
Yes, that will be sufficient. Good
Okay.
question.
Do you follow state of Connecticut or federal mandates?
Right. So like other level funded programs, we are not offering those mandates that are part of the fully insured world, most namely, the infertilities and things like that. But we're right on par with what everyone else in the market is doing with this kind of program.
Okay. Is this a captive? It seems like there's some reference that it seems like a captive is involved, but the individual wanted to double check.
Sure. So really good question. It is, in fact, a captive, but that was really how we were able to attract Skyward as our stop loss carrier. It was our way of being able to, again, sort of break away from the traditional carriers and piece together all of the vendors that we are supporting our program with. So it is a captive, but for the employer and for their members, they will not feel that they're part of a captive because there is no capital investment at the beginning. There's no commingling of funds. The renewals are based on their own experience. So it's captive sort of in technical terms only, not market terms.
Okay. Can you quote a 12-1 case? Sorry if you mentioned this already, but is quoting open for December?
Yes, quoting is open for December. Again, typically we need 9 months of experience. We're allowed to go get proposals with 8 months of experience if you have a renewal and at least 8 months of experience, or if they're fully insured and there's no experience and no renewal, we'd be happy to take a look at their invoice and work from that. We have been quoting 12-1s for a week or two now.
And Erin, I know you talked about this, but this question came up. It's kind of a two-part question. Is there an opportunity for expanded plan options? Is there an opportunity for lower coinsurance on the HSA plans?
Yeah, so again, this kind of feedback is critical. You heard me say earlier that when we received your feedback that a 12-15 stop loss contract just wasn't cutting it for some of you, we were able to pivot and move to a 12-18. We will do the same with plan designs. If we hear from you that we need different or better or larger options, larger portfolio, we're happy to learn that from you and take it back to our team to try to build out. Again, we're here for you. We're here for your clients. If we're not meeting your expectations or if the clients are looking for something different, tell us. We want to be able to be that solution for them.
Okay. I see that a couple of questions have come in through the chat as well, and most of them are coming through the Q&A. So I'll look in the chat. There are a couple that popped in. Is there a list of the carved out state mandated benefits available?
It is available out on our website, yes. If you look on the agent screen of the insurance page of our website, if you go to plan designs, there is a document that says, I'm paraphrasing, but it's basically benefits not covered.
And what is the network, if you can repeat?
Sure, the network is the Cigna National PPO Network. That is the name. I know sometimes people will say, well, which network? If you go on, either through our website or through Cigna directly, and if you go to national networks, there is just one called PPO, and that's the one that we have. It's the most expansive.
Okay. Does the stop loss include rate guarantee and no new lasers?
There is no lasering, and rate guarantee, I'm assuming you mean upon renewal? I guess I don't. Whoever asked that question, shoot it to me directly so I can further understand. Aaron.Kalkus, Kalkus, @cbia.com. I want to make sure that I understand really the question that's being asked so I can answer it appropriately.
Okay, great. And it was Lynn, so she knows how to find us. That's
Oh,
good.
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 Hi, Lynn.
Hi, Lynn. Once again, is this presentation available to us later?
Yes, so give it a day or two. I'm not sure if it'll be sent out tomorrow or early next week, but absolutely it will be sent to everyone who is on the registration list.
Okay. And Aaron, you talked a lot about membership earlier. So is there anything further my clients need to do if they are already CBIA members?
Nothing further, nothing at all. If they're already CBIA members, they're already enjoying the benefits of CBIA. They're already being represented up at the state capitol by our legislative team. And we're happy to hopefully be able to offer them additional benefits through our Health Connections program.
Okay. And then you talked a little bit about compliance earlier, things like COBRA and 1095B. Are there other services such as PCORI assistance or the pharmacy data collection, also called RxDC?
RX, yeah, yep, all of that is included in this program. Yes.
Okay, great. I think we got to all of the questions.
Phew.
See all of them here.
That was like rapid fire.
Yeah. Oh, there is one other question.
Oh.
Are there any barriers for existing Cigna clients
Oh,
to move them to this
yeah.
product with CBIA?
Yeah. So good question. Unfortunately, as many of you know, Cigna does not allow, them to be quoted by other Cigna vendors, I guess, if you will. So if they're currently with Cigna today, we can't quote them, unfortunately.
Okay.
Unless it's Cigna Oscar. I don't even know how many of those are left. I guess I should say Cigna level funded, self-funded plans cannot be quoted. We'll have to automatically DTQ it.
Okay. And do you provide the 1095s to employees?
No. Yes, we do to
Yeah.
employees. Yes, we do. Thank you. Yeah.
I asked the question and then I can answer it.
Good,
Yes.
because that's really your area.
We have a service that we've contracted with a vendor and they will issue the 1095s to employees. Yes. So this might be the same attendee that's asking some questions about the captive and you related to I think, viability of the captive, who backs up the captive if that's necessary. So that captive arrangement is really it's almost as if it's not a captive, honestly. The captive just exists between the stop loss vendor and CBIA. And so that's completely invisible to the market.
So I hate to stop the Q&A because I think this is great, but I'm noticing the time and I really want to make sure that people are available to hear Chris Davis, and I'm noticing that we have about 10 minutes left. So if questions haven't been addressed, we will get back to you. If you have more questions, shoot it to anyone on our sales team. I'd like to throw it over to Chris Davis, who again is our Vice President of Public Policy, who's going to talk about really our industry and some of the struggles that we're facing. So thanks so much for your time, Chris. Passing it over to you, buddy.
All right, thanks, Aaron. Thank you very
Sure.
much. And thank you for everybody for joining us here today. I'm Chris Davis. I'm our Vice President of Public Policy, as Aaron said. So I oversee our lobbying and advocacy efforts at the state capitol. One of the driving factors of what we deal with on a daily basis at the state capitol is trying to lower those healthcare costs for our employers across the state, in particular, our small businesses that many of you work with. Our survey of Connecticut businesses just came out last week. And the number one issue that they want us to try to tackle next year is healthcare costs for our employees across the state. And we oftentimes remind legislators that, yes, it's a cost savings for employers, but ultimately it's a cost savings for employees. And that's really what drives our efforts at the state capitol. And, over the last few years, I'm sure you have heard about our efforts kind of at the tip of the spear of trying to come up with an association health plans or multiple employee welfare arrangements under the ERISA laws at the federal level allow us to do it here at the state level, but state policy prevents it. And we've been really pushing to try to get that done over the last 2 or 3 years. Unfortunately, the political headwinds have really prevented that from happening, which has caused that shift in the need to have a product like we are offering here with Health Connections to try to fit that need that is out there for those smaller businesses to have access to low cost, high quality health benefits for their employees. As Aaron discussed earlier, unfortunately, with the stop loss carry, can't go below 10. And that's really left a lot of small businesses with the inability to have access to health insurance products that are affordable with that high quality if they're less than 10 employees. So we're hopeful more of you join, we can start working with the stop loss carrier to get that number lower here with our products so that we can offer it. But really what you're seeing at the state level is attempts to really make it very, very difficult for us to be able to offer small businesses health insurance in the state of Connecticut. The small group market, as you all know, is really dissolving. There's less and less carriers involved in the space, whether it be in the private market or even on the exchange. Efforts by policymakers to try to drive individuals to the exchange in order to try to keep it afloat have really threatened the private small group market that so many of you operate in every single day. And this is really seen in bills last year that would have significantly increased the attachment points for stop loss. That would have made level funded plans like Health Connections and others in the marketplace very difficult to operate with minimum attachment points jumping from $20,000 now to $75,000 requirement. And an aggregate of attachment point of $250,000 in the final version of the bill that made it out of committee. I mean, this would be devastating costs for small businesses across the state and really make level funded plans unaffordable. And it's intentional. The policymakers intentionally were doing this in order to try to force small businesses either into the fully insured market so that they can completely regulate it and have full control over the costs for small businesses that would have undoubtedly raised those costs for them, or force them to cut insurance and put their employees onto the exchange in order to help boost membership onto the exchange. So thankfully, through the efforts of CBIA, some of our sister associations and others, we were able to prevent those bills from moving forward last year. However, we are anticipating when the legislature starts up again in 2026 that similar efforts will be put in to try to make it so that it's that much more difficult for products for small businesses to be offered. And so we're going to be, as I said in the survey, our number one issue, trying to make sure that we can try to lower those costs. We have seen efforts from Access Health CT to try to offer ICHRA programs. As we know, ICHRAs have been around for a number of years now. They have not really caught on and been successful for small businesses in order to lower their costs for various different reasons that, I don't have to get in with you guys. But, that is oftentimes pointed to as a solution to the problem. And as we all know, it is a solution, but not the solution. So that's why, we came up with this product here at CBIA that we think helps move us in the right direction and really move the needle. And with your help, we can continue to advance that. And heading into next year, programs that so many of you rely on a daily basis for your clients are going to be under threat. And that's why we here at CBIA are really pushing to really push against those efforts, make it so that we can offer these private sector solutions for small businesses across the state, and really make it so that we can try to start controlling some of those 13% hikes that were just approved yesterday, or 20% hikes for some carriers in the small group market and on the exchange. So, we look forward to working with you guys. Hopefully, if you didn't get your questions answered by Erin, feel free to reach out. Obviously, me and my team, we have a lobbyist that this is what she does. She primarily deals with health insurance issues for us. So, we are here ready and able to answer any questions that you guys might have as well. But it's essential that we have products like Health Connections in the marketplace right now in order to help combat some of these efforts to try to make it so that small businesses don't have access to private sector solutions like this going forward. So, Erin, thank you very much for having me on here. Happy to answer any questions if anybody has them in these final few minutes. And if not, they can reach out to me anytime with any questions as well.
Awesome. Thanks so much, Chris. I really appreciate you stepping in to help kind of give some overview of what's happening in the political climate dealing with our industry. I had an agent the other day say to me that he could not remember the last time one of his clients thanked him for for the health insurance program that he put them with last year, and it's been a while. You guys are getting beat up out there, and Chris and his team and me and my team, we're going to do everything we can to help kind of take some of the bruising away.
And I'm not just a salesman, I'm a user as well.
Yeah.
I have the Health Connections product myself and my family, significantly better than, the previous product that we had. We're very happy with it going forward. So, obviously improvements can be made to the general marketplace to help lower those costs, and that's what we're trying to do. But I think we've really found a solution here through CBIA that gives an option for those small businesses that really didn't have one before.
Right. Thanks, Chris. All right, well, I think that's a wrap. Again, any questions you have for any one of us at CBIA, please feel free to reach out, and enjoy the rest of your day and the upcoming weekend. And I look forward to seeing you all and talking to you soon. Thanks so much. Bye-bye.